Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We got the squad in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid, in here as always, and of course the host of the Chicago Bears, Breeze Jordan JC, or as we've dubbed him on the show,
Meaty,
Mr. Meaty, because 5 steaks is still crazy. Man said he knocked down 5 steaks, bro.
Should have kept that a secret.
Yeah, bro, you shouldn't tell people stuff like that live on the show, bro. He said my weekend was amazing. I ate 5 steaks.
That man still
all my steak lovers in the chat, man. I see y'all in the chat, man.
Hey, listen,
that man still constipated. It's gonna smell like a dead animal crawled out of him.
Bro, that mug blood pressure high, dog. Hey, man, we got a lot to get into on today's show, man. Got to react to Ryan Poles' press conference. Thought he said some very interesting things that pertain to the Chicago Bears. Now, listen, it's not like my man's just sitting here like, hey, here we go. We know I'm telling you exactly what the draft plan is. But some very interesting aspects laid out in the draft, and maybe a change at a position that we thought was locked up could be added to the team. We'll talk about all that. Also got to look at the stadium update that we'll be getting coming tomorrow. I mean, Arlington seems dead.
They had their chance.
They had their chance. Arlington seems like it is gone. Bears unveiling plans, schematics, mock-ups, big mock season around here on what the new stadium could look like south of Soldier Field. And then finally talk a little bit of this NBA playoffs because everybody's crying about the refs. Oh, God, the referees made me blow a 20-point lead. All that more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. What's happening, boys? How's Ryan Poles have y'all feeling confident yet? Anybody excited?
Yeah, just can't wait for Thursday. You know, you got to show up for Thursday for him to do exactly what we know he's going to do. You know?
Exactly, right? Hey, I did
at
love
number
that,
one, at least. Yeah, absolutely.
I love. Can we listen? Start selling the jersey, bro.
Yeah.
Just start selling the jersey. Let us know what number he's gonna be wearing. Let us know what it's gonna look like, bro. Like they probably have already gotten the photo op out of the way. Like, realistically speaking, they're probably done with everything they needed to be done with to this point, and they're just waiting to actually say his name so that he can have the moment. But we did hear from Ryan Poles today. He would not divulge whether he's taking Caleb Williams or not, but I think that we go into this draft with more answers than we do questions with a lot of what this Bears team wants to do, and especially hearing from Ryan Poles. I thought it was very interesting him talking about, kind of the pre-draft analysis on the quarterback and how in-depth they were. And when Courtney Cronin asked him, you basically brought in one quarterback for your pre-draft analysis and talking to Ryan about, how confident are you? Do you like that Caleb speaks confidently? Caleb is speaking as if he's coming to Chicago and he's talking about championships. The Bears seem very locked in on their convictions. And listen, for better or for worse, this is not the Mitch situation where it was somebody hiding out because you didn't look anywhere else. This feels like a situation where you head in, you know what you're getting at quarterback, and you know that you have an opportunity for an impact piece at 9. I thought Ryan Poles talked very much as hey, listen, when you see what happens, you're already going to know 90% of the equation. It's just trying to figure out the math to get there.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he does political speak very well. He's the most charismatic yet evasive interviewer I've seen from a GM position, and I really like it. I like what he said. To piggyback on some of the questions asked, and Courtney always does a great job. Another reporter asked a really good question. It surrounded the draft picks, if you want to get into that one. And this is what really gave me confidence in Ryan from this one, as if I needed any more. He was confident, and he said he knows their plan. They know what they're going to do. They're confident if it's only 4 picks. He's even mentioned flirting with the idea of having less than 4 picks. So whatever that whatever that would allude to, right? So the options for us are on the table. But if all we have are 4 picks and the way that this team is built out, we're confident with that. He's confident with it. I love that. He shouted out Ian Cunningham. Love that part. And the other part, what I really loved is he said it's going to be really hard for you to make this team now. And if you're in a situation where it's really hard to make the roster, guess what that means, boys?
Got a good roster.
We got a good
That means
roster.
the talent is tops. Yeah.
It has not been difficult to make this team in the past. I'll tell you that much. It was like, hey, we don't have the option to let you go, so we're gonna figure it out with you here.
I'm pretty sure JC tried out and almost made it, right?
Yeah, JC. I mean, listen, when they found out he could eat 5 steaks, they were like, we need this
Put
guy
me on that
in
line,
series.
baby. I'll be your
Put him on the line
for the next 10 years. Put me on that line. That's right. Ryan Bates.
Jordan, what you hear from Ryan Poles today? Was there anything that stood out to you? Anything that you liked?
No, I love the conviction. I mean, nothing new for me. I mean, I pretty much kind of figured that he'd go into this process very confident because, as we just mentioned, you look at the way the team is constructed now. There's not too many holes that need to be, plugged up in a sense where, if we go into the draft, like you said, with 4 or less, meaning shut up.
No, I just wanted to know if I just wanted to know if Kid heard what I heard on that because I don't know if that L.
I'm trying my hardest to get past pauses now.
I don't know if that L was.
You're right. We got to grow up. We got to get past it. Absolutely. But there's a lot of holes to plug up. I just want you to know.
It was a pause. Hey, listen. I don't know if it was a pause. I just didn't know if that L was pronounced enough in the word holes. Holes.
Oh, I have to be a little bit. I have to enunciate my. Okay, I got you. No, I think that you came away convinced, as we all are. My whole thing with this whole process with Caleb was just trying to get to know the person a little bit more, and then more and more close we get to the draft. I think they did their homework. I think with all of the interviews that Caleb has had, whether it be with the front office and the coaches, or even when I had put out a video about the dinner that he had with the players, in particular, those that kind of had question marks about him being a leader coming in, replacing Justin Fields. Like all of those boxes have been checked for me, and I think it's the same with Ryan. I think, man, yeah, just really good confidence. I hope Ian Cunningham, by the way, personally, I hope Ian Cunningham can stay here past the year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do like the continuity with those two.
Yeah, no, I think that the Bears have a really good. I think Ian Cunningham's got a job here coming soon, but he may be. Listen, it's got to be a great situation. That's the best part about what the Bears have become, right? This is not a run away from it and get out of here situation. This is a like, hey, you got to come with them numbers, right? For me to leave a situation where we feel like we're going to start winning finally. You want me to leave that now so I can come build your organization? I don't know about that. I mean, by the way, over 100 in the chat.
Let's go.
Mike's up. I thought one thing that was very interesting that he talked about in the draft, when Herb Howard asked him about, kind of how you're going to go positionally grading for this 9th overall pick. And I thought what was interesting about that was the fact that we know what number 1 is, right? Like, my God, just do it already. But we know what number 1 is. All right, we got to wait till Thursday. Appreciate y'all. At 9, though, he asked him basically, how do you grade whether you can go best defensive end that's available there versus the 3rd best wide receiver? And I thought that was very interesting because that's really the debate that we've been having this entire offseason. Once we figured out that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy here in Chicago, that, okay, Rome Odunze is rated as the 3rd best wide receiver, but we hear that, from Mel Kiper Jr., that if this was a different draft, he could be the best receiver on the board. But we also have Jared Verse rated as the 2nd best defensive end on the board. Where do you go positionally? I thought Ryan, his quotes on that were really interesting. He basically said, you go through the entire evaluation process and you also weigh kind of the traits and the personality of these guys. How do they fit with the culture of the team? And just hearing him break it down in that way to where you're getting to the personality of people, I think it goes back to what PK was saying earlier about, you're at a point now where, yes, it's going to be harder to make this team, but you can be a lot more picky with what you want to go with at that 9th overall pick. Yeah, there is some conversation to be had on the future at the wide receiver position. There is some conversation to be had on who's going to be rushing opposite Montez Sweat. There is some conversation to be had on, is your offensive line shored up enough or not? But now you've kind of got to a point with your team where you've got the option to say, well, we've addressed that in a certain way. Is it good enough? I don't know. But we've definitely addressed that, and I feel comfortable saying we can go here in the draft, or we haven't addressed that yet, but we need to go here this year because next year there's a crop of people that are going to be coming out of college who are going to be really good at this position, and so we'll have these numbers and have these picks for next year. It all speaks to the Chicago Bears being in a really, really good place heading into this draft and being able to go into this draft, like I said, with a ton of confidence and a ton of conviction and belief that we're not leaving this draft with questions. We're leaving this draft with answers.
Biggest thing I love about this entire process is having that clear direction and having the one thing that ultimately makes or breaks any team, no matter what the sport is. They are really big on the culture, really big on maintaining that culture. Not just getting the best talent, which is something that we fantasize about when we make our mock drafts. It's like, hey, this person may be the best receiver available, for lack of a better analogy. But does that person fit our culture? It's like MHJ is a great name, but ultimately we have no idea if he fits our culture. Like, so understanding those things and understanding that that's really big on them. It's not even understated. It's overstated with Ryan. That's the main thing. The person,
it's all about the culture.
That nature. So, like, I trust them in that respect, and I like the fact that they're really looking at what it takes to have a championship DNA. It all starts with the culture. The talent in itself can be developed.
Dub, what'd you hear in the press conference today?
Man, it's an exciting time being a Bears fan, man. Just listening to him talk, man, you could just see the confidence on him. You hear Ryan Poles talk, and even when they're trying to really dig deep and get him to like admit some stuff, it seems like as if like Ryan is trying his best to hold back that, we selected Caleb. It's a little smirk that you can see on his face. Like he's just like,
it's that Pat McAfee joint when he was like, hey, this guy right here, am I right? Is this guy, you think he got me? Am I
he
right?
knows. He knows, and he knows that we know. So it's really coming down to that number 9 pick. And what I really kind of took from it is like, all right, we got a solid team already, is what he's saying. And if you really think about it, like the picks that we had in this draft before we got to the end of the offseason, he's used some of those picks to get the players that's on the roster that we have right now, which is why he's saying basically, hey, man, look, at the end of the day, it's going to be tough to try to make this team. I mean, we may draft some of these rookies, and they're going to have to really play for to try to get on this starting lineup to get on this team. So at the end of the day, I think that they really got a good plan in play. We may just stick with those 4 draft picks that we actually have.
Yeah.
And, hey, at the end of the day, how many teams actually have two picks in the top 10? It's only the Bears. They're the only team. They're going to have 2 players that could be generational because when you really think about it, it may be 4 quarterbacks taken 1 through 4. And then you got basically 5 through 9 where it's a new draft. And the Bears basically pick 5th in that new draft. Like, you can't beat that, So at the end of the day, I think we're in a good spot. I love the confidence, man. I think we impose, we trust, man.
Yeah, no, and I think that's even hearing him say that, right? We've talked about ad nauseum, right? You got to add more. There's no way that he's going to leave this draft with only 4 draft picks, or is he going to add later in the draft? Is he going to add more in the draft? He said he's comfortable, and I love how he said this. I'm comfortable with the flexibility that we've ensured here in Chicago. I'm comfortable with our flexibility that we have moving forward. That's been my biggest thing with Ryan Poles the entire time. At no point has it felt like, I'll say that, I guess at one point, right, I felt like maybe he was backed in the corner where I was like, I don't know who's playing wide receiver on this team, and you don't have enough picks to go get one. That's the only time. And then Keenan Allen was here. We did that episode. Keenan Allen was here 6 hours later. I was like, well, all right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not worried about it anymore.
We got it. Yep.
Like, I think that is right. Like the entire time, flexibility to me has been the word for Ryan Poles, because even through the Justin Fields situation, even when you talk about when he first got here, how he created some of this cap space, right? Moving on from Khalil Mack, it's such a major thing to me that it hasn't felt like his time here in Chicago has been, okay, you got to make a decision now, because if you don't, you're going to end up losing out on huge opportunities. And that I think is something that you don't get with a lot of GMs. You don't get with a lot of teams, especially GMs. You might get it in a situation where, right, you're rebuilding, but like you got great pieces left over from the previous regime. That's not what he came into here with the Bears. He came into like, all right, we are like winning 8 games a year. We got Roquan Smith, we got Khalil Mack, and we got Robert Quinn.
And I'm going to trade them all.
Because I got to open up the cap space. Like I think the fact that he's comfortable with the 4 picks really does show his flexibility. Because guess what? You got the top pick from Carolina next year in the second round, which is probably going to be 33. I don't know how to tell you this. Carolina's going to suck again. Like they are not going to have a Houston jump this season. They're going to be bad. So you got another second round pick going into next year. Oh, by the way, that second round pick can be used to add capital this year, add a player during the season, which we've seen him do 2 years in a row, add capital next season. If you want to pair a couple of picks to move back into the first round, which you could have then 2 first round picks next season, right? There's just so much flexibility everywhere. And I think that it really speaks to even, right, I thought something else that stood out today, and I want to touch on this before we get up out of this segment. Something else that really stood out today that I thought was a done conversation is him bringing up the option to still go with an interior pass rusher with that 9th overall pick when he was asked about, where do you feel you need to address the importance at the 9th overall pick, and do you feel like you need to go defense? He was like, listen, that defensive interior spot, which on this team would be your 3 technique, is the shortest distance between you and the quarterback. And so it's not something that can be overlooked as you head into this draft. The fact that you're sitting here talking about still adding to the defensive interior while having a piece last year in Javon Dexter, who seemed like he was making some strides that makes everybody else on that defensive line's life easier, that again goes to the flexibility that I think you have with so many positions in this draft. And it just, I know it sounds like I'm riding a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but like I can't stop singing the praises of Ryan Poles because the one spot where he's messed up, he admitted that's my bad and got rid of it. That's Chase Claypool. That was the F up.
Yeah, that was the mess up. Yeah,
that was the one.
Big time.
And look, and was like, listen, figure it out or we're getting rid of you. And Chase was like, I ain't gonna do it. Oh, I'm in Miami.
How'd I get here?
What did you do that for? You know what? I'm big on this because this shows Ryan Poles doesn't just sit on what he thinks is good talent. Javon Dexter, we talked about how he's looked over the offseason. He's committed to being in shape. His conditioning is outstanding. His strength looks to be on another level now. But at the same time, Ryan Poles isn't just sitting here just saying, here's the keys to the job. If they do go in a different direction where maybe Byron Murphy, who I've been hearing a lot of reports, getting a lot of steam coming up to that number 9 position.
It'd be a little high for him, but I guess if you believe in him.
I've been hearing it, but let's just say, okay, they trade down and they do get a Byron Murphy. To me, that again goes to the level of talent on this team and the fact that Ryan Poles has no problem putting competition, on this team. Like, if you think you're the best, okay, fight it out with this guy. You're not just going to get the job, and that again commits to the type of talent that we already have on the squad, where we can do that.
The funny thing about this is, go ahead. The funny thing about it is, I think, and I think this is probably most of the chat. Aren't we more excited about what's going to happen with number 9 than number 1? Because now we think it's
no mystery. There's no mystery.
For me, the draft is not even starting until we get on the clock.
It's more suspense.
It's I expected Caleb to walk, and then it's like, all right, I got to wait 8 picks. Like, what's happening?
I don't even know if I'm more excited for 9 because 9 to me isn't as exciting because I don't think you can screw it up.
Yeah.
Like 1 is the only one that I thought
way.
1 is the one that I thought you could screw up. 9 is like you could pick. I know Joel is like pissed that like the Bears may go wide receiver. Like, why would you ever want a wide receiver? I don't have hair. You know what I mean? Like I know he's mad that like the Bears might go wide receiver, but like adding a impact wide receiver would be amazing. Like It really would. Adding a impact edge would be amazing. Adding a impact left tackle would be amazing. Adding a impact interior defensive lineman, if Byron Murphy is the option for the Bears, there would be amazing. Like I'm not even excited about the first round anymore, because at this point my mind is kind of like, all right, Caleb's coming. All right, let's get to training camp. Yeah. Like I'm more like, all right, what's the third round look like? Do we get back into the second round here? Are we going to add more picks in the fourth round? I'm going to be excited with whatever player ends up coming to Chicago at 9, because I don't think that there's one on the board where I'm going to be like, I'm shocked by that pick. But I guess yes, Crips.
Hold on now.
If he picks a DB, Crimson, I may flip a table. Might I convince you all on Kool-Aid McKinstry?
There we go, baby. Gatorade Jackson.
Or I don't know, man. Like I
you know how I feel, man. Like
I will say this, while I'm not it's not that I'm not excited, while I don't feel like there's a ton of suspense for me, I do believe this is the most important draft in Chicago Bears history.
Yeah. Fact. It's exciting, man. And you just think about the fact that Caleb Williams tweets that he sees Rome Odunze and they on a flight together. All the Chicago Twitter goes crazy. Yeah. All the Chicago Twitter goes crazy. Yeah. It just shows you the level of excitement we have, man. And I think everybody really wants to see the Bears draft either Rome or one of those other two receivers. I think that's the way to go. I mean, you got to take the best player available. And like I said, the draft really starts after pick 4. You know, pick 5 through 9 is where you got nothing but talent. You can't swing wrong. No matter who you have, the Bears really don't even have to move up, honestly, unless they really, really, really want one of those wide receivers and they think one of them might go by that time. So,
only thing I'd move up for at this point is Joe Alt. I'd get a little tingly if it was like the Bears move up to 7 and they take Joe Alt. Hey, yo, hold on now. Yeah. We are protecting a quarterback and trying to get a quarterback. I'm excited.
It's Chicago, man.
By the way.
Shout out to the Breeze Nation. I don't know if we shouted the chat out up in there. Wally Smith, Jay Crit is in the building. He said he's not going DB. It's Crimson in the building. Booby in the building. Shout out Booby. Kenny in the building. Baki in this mug, man. Baki said the draft starts at 3 with the Patriots because rumors is Patriots are willing to trade out of 3. I ain't gonna lie to you. MHJ might go 3, which would throw a lot of stuff off. Eddie Kane in the building. Eddie Kane Jr. in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Why would he go? Why would he go 3?
I mean,
because somebody might move up and not need a
trade New England.
I'm hearing there's a lot of smoke behind. I'm hearing there's a lot of smoke behind teams really want to get a quarterback. So like Minnesota might try to trade up, and I think that's what we want. We want these teams.
I want as many teams trading up as possible because then it just like I'm telling y'all, what's gonna happen is people are gonna panic. People are going to be like, oh, God, he's off the board. We didn't expect this. Ah! Just like, quarterback.
Yeah.
Can you picture them doing that?
Hey, bro, that's what happens. That's what happens in like all the fantasy football drafts when kid takes a quarterback like the 2nd overall pick. It's just
oh my God.
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cobain.
Taking a quarterback. No, he's definitely who did he take? He always takes Pat Mahomes normally.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he messes up the whole because then everybody else is forced to take quarterbacks.
Kid's trying to fight back, but his internet is fighting harder.
Yeah, you messed up a little bit there, brother.
Oh no. Oh no.
Kid be like, I'm paying for this business internet. Kenny 49er Cope says, serious question, no hate or disrespect. Don't you guys worry about the history of USC quarterbacks and the history of Chicago Bears quarterbacks? I'll tell you what, I'm not worried about the history as much here with USC quarterbacks or Chicago Bears quarterbacks, because we've never seen a USC quarterback or a Chicago Bears quarterback set up this way. By the way, over 200 in a chat.
Hey, 200.
Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I think do we have 32 likes on this video with 200 plus people in this one?
That's always the case.
Jesus. Hit the like button, brother. Come on now. But no, I don't worry about it because this is not the same old. This is not your same old NFL team for a 1st round pick coming in here. Like this is We've never seen this.
I mean, Andrew Luck might be the closest, right?
Andrew Luck to me is the closest, but we've never seen a quarterback get set up in a way where it's like you kind of, it's going to be difficult for you to mess up. Not to say there's not a learning curve, but it's like when even your mess ups can turn into successful plays.
Mm-hmm.
Even you like, oh, I read that wrong, can be Keenan Allen 6'3" and could go up and get it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I read that wrong. Well, that's DJ Moore. He just muscled that ball out of there, and now he's taking it 60 yards to the end zone.
Yards after catch, baby.
I mean, give me that yak. And so I think for that reason, I feel a little bit better about all of, I guess, the curses that have plagued the Chicago Bears. And I'm fine with us making this move for Caleb Williams. I said it the night that we went and got Keenan Allen. I was like, you've never seen a young guy set up this way. He's going to have time to develop because his development's going to come from like, hey, DeAndre Swift, do something with that for me, please. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for Caleb's sake, he's going from it being on his shoulders to not on his shoulders. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy, dog.
That was crazy.
Anyway, I actually like this question. You done made me lose the question now. Like, it made me lose this question. Oh, the question that Baki put up here, because we got to move fast. That was a strong. Hey, he put it on. He put his Powers Johnson on the table, didn't he?
Hey,
yo. Question for the panel in chat: what player will be a shocker being picked in the top 10?
A DB?
I'm still on the same one, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. No.
JJ McCarthy would shock me in the top 10.
Not
now.
Shock
me at this point.
Not at this point.
Listen,
I
was shocked by Anthony Richardson last year. I would still be shocked by JJ McCarthy in the top 10. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I get it. I understand what like the hype that's around him. I understand people going all in on and listen, spunky white quarterback. Like we know that gets these NFL teams oats cooking, right? Like we know what that does to them. But like
Bo Nix, you wouldn't go Bo Nix. You go JJ McCarthy.
I would be very shocked by JJ McCarthy because I think that there's one team that you're probably talking about really coveting him. And if they don't move up for him, which to me is the Vikings, if they don't move up for him, who's the team that's like losing their mind to go get him? We haven't heard that Denver's enamored with this guy. We haven't heard that the Patriots are all in on this guy, which they probably would be Drake May. We like the vibe from most of these teams is like, nah, JJ cool. Giants maybe, but like I could see the Giants doing some weird. First off, the Giants do stupid stuff all the time, so I can see a lot with the Giants. But I can see the Giants going wide receiver early, quarterback second round. That would not surprise me. Taking a Michael Penix or a Bo Nix second, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Michael Penix potentially going first round has actually been flirted with, especially since he did his Players Tribune open letter to GMs and stuff like that. They've been really talking about that. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If it wasn't for the injury history, Michael Penix is the best QB in this draft.
Yes, 100%.
Michael Penix has the prettiest throw.
I wouldn't put him above Caleb.
That dude's tape is crazy, bro.
No, yeah. Listen,
Caleb didn't have high things to say about him, though.
He literally does have a picture perfect ball too. Like the way he delivers, and that's phrasing. The way that he actually gets that ball out and the spiral that he throws, it is a picturesque throw. Like realistically, I said it before we even got on the Caleb Williams train. I said it was like, hey, I think Michael Penix is the guy. He just get hurt. That's it.
Yeah. No, so talent-wise is absolutely there.
Because of injury history, that would be that would be high.
I'm throwing in Olu Fashanu. And the only reason why I say this is because if you look at the very beginning of like when people do mock drafts in the early stages, Olu's name was actually above Joe Alt's for a hot second, coming out of Penn State as the top left tackle. Before you started doing some research into, maybe Joe Alt being a better protector, against that bull rush. But I'm thinking Olu Fashanu, he's going to take a dive into like the mid picks. I think he's going to be in the top 10.
Why is he diving?
I got one for you.
Just because he's not good against the bull rush. He's kind of been found out to be subpar with that. Joel's a better blocker.
I've been saying that the entire time. I'm like, listen, I think he's better than Braxton, but he got the same problem as Braxton.
He's got the same issues. Yeah.
I'll
say this: it will be interesting if Latu goes in the top 10, because so the NFL reporters, they did their own little mock, and they got Atlanta picking him at 8
over Dallas and Jared, huh?
I think that would be crazy.
Hey, please do.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that.
Right ahead, huh?
You take Latu Latu 8, please help me. I'd be all in for them doing that. That'd be the dumbest thing that they could do. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's keep this thing moving along, man. We have a very, very, dog, Arlington Heights seems like it's dead. Like, who would have thought that we would be here? Arlington Heights seems like it's done.
Out of there.
And so because of that, my question to the panel today, my question to the chat as well, is this a black eye on the job that Kevin Warren has done coming to Chicago, or is this the Chicago Bears operating as, hey, we're a big boy organization, you're not going to sit here and put us in a bad situation?
Yeah, 100. I mean, Kevin Warren came into this, bro, and he's seen the situation. He said, why are y'all out here when you got the 3rd largest city and marketplace in the United States of America? You got this beautiful lakefront. You get all these opportunities. We crying about parking. We crying about transportation. We can make that happen.
I'm crying about parking. I'm not gonna lie.
Where
these people gonna park?
It took me 40 minutes to walk to the stadium that one time we went.
I feel you, no doubt. But I mean, it's an event, right? You only doing that 8 times a year.
And then walking to the stadium, he can't make it.
Walked off my meat sweats, man. God.
The meat sweats. I feel like he looked at the situation and said, we are more marketable as a team by the lake. And at the end of the day, that's where you're gonna make your money. That's where those billions of dollars are gonna come in. So let's move us. Let's scrap this plan. We got the money. We're not worried about that we bought this property. We got the money. Let's work with the friends of the park, which is gonna be difficult because those jokers, they don't like to move. They don't like to do anything. But we got to work with the friends of the park. We need to work with the city of Chicago. We got to work with the taxpayers. But we need to make this thing happen for downtown Chicago on the lakefront. It is iconic. That shot come over the water as you go into a Bears game with that dome roof, WrestleMania, Super Bowls, everything you want, Beyonce concerts.
WrestleMania over the Super Bowl.
All coming to Chicago. It's not going to the West Coast.
Hey, he didn't care nothing about the Super Bowl. He said WrestleMania. That's
WrestleMania, baby.
Hey. I say, hey, WrestleMania is gonna be crazy, but
I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta look this up to fact check. WrestleMania might be as big as the Super Bowl.
Hey, listen, I don't doubt it. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, as far as crowded,
this is my thing right here. I love the moves that Kevin Warren has made simply because I don't know if most people know this, but the city of Chicago is very difficult to do business with. In fact, the deal that we had for Soldier Field was so like you wouldn't take that deal today, realistically, if you were an owner. So the way that they did not have ownership, the way that they couldn't do any sports betting, like they couldn't operate like a modern franchise because they were handcuffed by some stipulations that was in the contract for Soldier Field when you like really dig into it. So the fact that he was able to call their bluff and have this work out, absolutely, it's a win for him. Now, some people are gonna say, "Well, you spent $200 million." One, yes, you spent $200 million. True, we spent $200 million. You didn't spend $200 million cash. You obligated yourself to property that you did through loans, which he's going to actually flip for property there. Because guess what? Arlington now needs to do with that land. Develop it. They were preparing so much for this move that other plans were being built around it. So now they have to do something with this because they had an empty racetrack at one point. Now it's like we got all this land, and he's going to slowly develop land now. Chicago Bears. That's just revenue for him. So at this point, he's like, you're double dipping. Like there was nothing wrong. Like there was never any downside to owning that property, even if we didn't build a stadium there.
You know what they could do to it?
That's a good point.
Don't they have to go all the way out to what's the name of that town they got to go out to for practice?
Bourbonnais?
Lake Forest.
They got to go out to Bourbonnais or Lake Forest. Maybe they put that
Bourbonnais.
there.
They've been out to Bourbonnais in 10 years.
Oh, my
20
fault.
years down there. But yeah, Lake Forest.
But Lake Forest, right? So maybe they changed it and put it to Arlington Heights. Maybe that's where they put their practice facility at.
I think the only thing, right, is you go from a situation where all the money's in the Bears' pockets to a publicly funded stadium. It makes, I guess, the perks of Lake Forest that were going to be there, you're missing out on them in Chicago, but you make up on that by being in Chicago. You know that you're going to get people there. You know that people want to come there. It keeps the allure of all our teams still in the city, unless Jay Reinsdorf spares my fandom and picks the White Sox up and takes them to Nashville. I don't know. I don't think that this is a black eye on Kevin Warren, but I do think that, I guess if it were my choice, I would go for all of the money is in my pocket over we're staying in Chicago.
Depends
right? Yes, I'm spending more now with how Arlington Heights tried to come in with the taxes on the flip side of all of that and tried to, hey, listen, y'all got the property, you in here. I love the fact that he was like, do you know we're the Chicago freaking Bears? Mm-hmm. Do you know that we're $1 billion organization? Because what would the mom and pop of Ted Phillips have done? They'd have been like, oh, well, you know, I mean, we bought it. Might as well use it. And then they'd have built some rinky-dink stadium on there and it wouldn't have been. Yeah, I mean, so it's like, I think that I dislike the fact, and yes, I do care about the parking. I do care about how we're going to get there because, fam, they closed down a section of 290 8 years ago. They just finished it. And then started a block up the street. Yeah, I mean, like, it take us forever to finish road work in this city. You're going to divert Lakeshore Drive?
That's because it's a racket in Chicago. You know what it is. Hey, listen, it should have took 8 years for that. But you know what? All those billable hours for that same company that the other former mayor owned, guess what? All that's money in the pocket. You know what this is. Guess what?
Hey, listen,
it's like being in connection with the mob and getting a bigger piece of the pie. Well, you don't have all the risk.
You didn't put that part out of there. Calm down and simmer down, everybody. You got put that hand down. Put that in. All right, when they come take you all away, the mafia doesn't exist. I know it. Not getting me. No, I thought that I think it's very interesting. I think that it would have been really nice to get that deal done in Arlington because to me, you can own a town.
Yeah.
Right. You can own, like, literally it's like Arlington Heights is now the Bears town.
That would have been the benefit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you change the name, Hallis Heights. It's not Arlington Heights no more. I don't know who Arlington was, but he lost.
Hallis Heights. Hey, you can't change the history of a town.
Hey, but you know what? I think he has said that the idea that they will have to kind of build up the neighborhood, they will have to build up the hotels to scale and all that stuff. And instead of having to do all of that, you already have it ready made in Chicago. So like you don't have to build up hotels. You don't have to build restaurants.
You do, but who's building the hotels? The Bears. So who gets the money from the hotels? The Bears. Who's building the restaurants?
Yeah.
The Bears.
Yeah.
Who's getting the money from the restaurants? The Bears. Who's building the bars? The Bears. Like, they own it all. So that, to me, I think that it is, SWAT said, the mob. No, SWAT, down. No, we're not doing that. I think that realistically speaking, right, like, you take that Cubs motto and run with it of what the North Side is. Wrigleyville is the Cubs city. Everything that happens there benefits the Cubs. Everything that goes on around the stadium benefits the Cubs. And so I would have loved that situation for the Bears, but I do love, like I said, I do love the fact that Kevin Warren didn't back down. Hey, we're going to tax you. We're going to add this on and this is blah, blah, blah. And they tried to make it to where I think the tax was going to benefit the school. So it's like, all right, yeah, we're going to pull at the heartstrings. And it's like, hey, listen, y'all want us to donate to the school? We'll donate to the school. Don't add it into the tax.
I will argue, and I don't know what it was like back in '85. Obviously, I was just born.
You were there.
I was born. But
that hair tells me you were there.
Hey, I was thought of. But this has to be the most exciting time as a Bears fan, probably in the history of the Bears. I mean, like you said, we're moving like a big boy organization. We got a general manager.
Jesus, Grady, calm down.
Oh, snap.
Hey, I'm with you, Grady. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
Hey, he came hard with that.
Really did. And then he was talking about building a stadium on top of River Oaks Mall.
Oh my God.
Hey, man. But listen.
Shout out Grady, bro.
Grady get on my nerves, man.
Hey,
Hey,
we sit down the whole show with that one.
This man got a book of jokes to just be writing down, man. Hey, well, look. Hey, but the idea of it all is that we actually got an organization that's moving like a real big-time organization, top to bottom. We got probably one of the best quarterbacks coming out of the draft in the last 10 to 15 years. It's an exciting time, man. We got money. We got cap space. We actually are going to and then who knows? We might be on Hard Knocks, so that's another thing to kind of draw interest.
I hope we don't do that.
The Bears, so I don't know if that's a good thing, but you know,
I'm not trying to kill your take. I hope we don't do that though. I don't want no extra distractions. Hey, listen, just focus. Hey, just focus on doing what we need to do. How many teams have actually succeeded after doing the Hard Knocks?
I don't know.
Tampa.
And you see how you got to think about it? Nope, don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. Who won the Super Bowl that year?
We might not have a choice, man.
I think Tampa. I think Tampa won the Super Bowl that year that they was on Hard Knocks.
Oh, that's with Brady.
No, not with Brady.
Just do it last
the
season?
first time. The first time they did it.
Oh,
with Brad Johnson?
Didn't Jets do it recently?
When they went with Gruden, didn't they do Hard Knocks that year?
Yeah, I was saying, wasn't Brad the quarterback?
Was Brad Johnson the quarterback on that team?
Thought it was. Anyway,
I don't know. Here's the thing with Hard Knocks for me. I can't watch Hard Knocks. It's not entertaining.
I've never watched the second.
It's not good for me.
I've seen it before, but like it got to a point where it was just like a bunch of dudes pretending for the cameras.
Right.
Like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like you're not finna tell me nothing insightful. You're not finna give me no great access. The coaches aren't sitting there letting you break down everything that's going on, right? So it's not like you're getting anything from. I'm cool on Hard Knocks. Give me the 1920 drive, John, once a month.
There you go.
I mean, let me get that. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I keep saying this, and I guess nobody believes me. And maybe it will be proven wrong this year because there's so much happening for the Bears that the NFL says we're willing to piss you off to make sure that you do this. But the Bears hold a lot of power. There's a reason they haven't done Hard Knocks. We've sucked forever. You would think we'd be on Hard Knocks at some point.
I don't know how we got away with it.
Roger was like,
because we the Bears. Because the McCaskey name or the former Hallis name holds a lot of power.
Roger goes into, hey Georgie, check this out. Listen,
shut up.
Publicity.
All right. Yeah,
I just can't wait to see Club Dub on YouTube, man. So that way, you know.
You bring Club Dub back?
Hey,
Club Dub on YouTube,
Club Dub back. We're not bringing Club Dub back.
You never know, man.
We'll do Club Dub on the Breeze personally. We're not doing Club Dub on YouTube. No Nagy hangovers, bro. Even though this man got another Super Bowl. Good Lord. That Nagy got a career going. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, but that offense was trash. So guess what? We know who the problem was. We got them, boys. The talent superseded the bad coaching. Because though we knew what Matt Nagy played, we knew it. We was like, Patrick Mahomes ain't looked this bad his entire life. All of a sudden, Matt Nagy gets back there. Yep. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. Would help that he had receivers that could catch, but you know, there's all that too. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Leave a comment below on anything that we talked about to this point, man. What were your thoughts on Ryan Pohl's press conference? What were your thoughts on the plans that will be revealed tomorrow? What do y'all want to see in these plans, bro? I ain't gonna. What do you want to see in the mock-ups, bro? What do you want to see in these mocks?
The additional parking that they pushed back on the side.
I am interested in that.
Speaking, what people haven't realized, they can tear down Soldier Field now.
I think they will.
They can.
The pillars are not a historical landmark anymore.
You sure the pillars aren't?
The pillars lost their historical landmark status, I believe, in 2010.
They put that spaceship on top of it.
So if the meaning remains the same, you can either pick them pillars up and move them to the new stadium, or you can knock the pillars down and build new pillars and have the meaning remain the same. I know it won't be dedicated to the same thing, right? But they've lost their historical landmark status. The Bears can knock that whole thing down and call it a day.
Well, they could just move the pillars. How about we just do that? We move the pillars.
I'd be fine with moving the pillars, but I said that years ago. I was like, pick them up and move them over there. It was like, well, you can't touch them. It's a historical landmark. Well, we can now.
Take them pillars, move it way out to Hallis Hall, build a little special arena out there. Heck, they might use that land in Arlington for something with those.
I ain't gonna lie, that'd be hot, moving the pillars to Hallis. That's a lot of travel, though. But that'd be hot.
I'm a simple guy. I just want two things. I want an enclosed stadium, and I want one of the concession stands to make a good medium steak.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's it.
Here we
That's
go.
it. That's it.
You know what the best? This is so weird, bro. This is a complete side conversation. But the interesting part about going to like stadiums now, with the price of everything else in the world being so high, is stadium food prices and beer prices.
We're already high.
But like it just feels normal to pay it now. Like I went to the United Center when the Bulls played the Pacers, and I got a barbecue joint there. First off, I got a mine price for everything where I'm like, this is an acceptable price. They had a barbecue joint in there. I got like a brisket sandwich. I want to say it was like $16.
I know what you're talking about. We got the same joint.
I've paid $16 for a brisket sandwich at a regular spot.
Actually, not too bad, honestly.
$25 with the
brisket
drink
sandwich and a beer for like $25. I'm like, that
actually with the drink.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, I had the old fashioned with the brisket sandwich, 25 bones. I'm like, I'm good with this.
Hey, Jordan, what we did, we went to the Bulls game. We went to Chick-fil-A around the corner before we went to the Bulls game.
We went to Chick-fil-A before we got up in that joint.
Hey man,
I would say this: when we went to Soldier Field, when we went to that Raiders game, the food wasn't outrageous. Soldier Field was actually pretty cheap compared to everybody else.
That's not bad. The White Sox got some good food.
Hey,
bro, I've said this a million times, bro. The White Sox need to start selling them tickets as dinner and a show.
Meal vouchers.
You come to pay for the dinner, and then like, oh yeah, a baseball game is also happening. You're not gonna win it, but there's a baseball game going on as well. Get dinner and a show in there, bro.
Hey, they do a buy one get one free. What they call that?
Tournament of the Kings.
A BOGO, bro. A BOGO. Let's do it. They doing buy one get one freeze on the tickets at this point.
Hey, they be having them hot dog specials, man, for kids and stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll see, man. Hey, man, let's finish it off here. Finish it off talking a little bit of NBA. Appreciate y'all tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The NBA playoffs are underway, and people are losing their ever-loving minds. Refs are going insane. The players hate all the refs. The best 2-pack in the NBA I've ever seen from TNT. Like those are, to me, the two best games I've ever watched back-to-back on TNT in my life.
It was
and they were both entertaining. They're both first-round games. But dog, and we just got the League 2-minute report. Apparently, Tyrese Maxey was fouled on that inbounds play, and people are upset about that. But here's my question. I guess here's my statement on everything with the playoffs. What happened to a time where the playoffs meant, I know I'm not going to get certain calls. I got to play harder. What happened to a time where the playoffs meant, oh man, there's going to be a lot more contact. I got to step up my intensity.
Playing through the whistle is not a thing anymore.
All we got after all of those games, first off, at least LeBron sat up there and like talked about it. And he kind of brought it up, but at least he talked about it. Joel Embiid is like face down, doing the interview like this the whole time. Like he's thinking, look up. What are you looking at?
Jamal Murray scored.
I got to say this. Philly, that's a stronger case for, hey, that's an egregious thing. He pretty much got pulled down. Like, you should have called that. That really did cost us the game. You saw how the momentum shifted.
And the timeout.
In the timeout.
Timeout I'm with.
He did call the timeout. They didn't give him a timeout. So him being upset about that, I could give him leeway about that because at that point it's like, dog, what really just happened here? Lakers can't give you that, LeBron. You want to know why?
He was up by
You're
20.
crying about D'Lo getting hit across the face in like the third.
quarter.
Hey, that layup, whether he took them 2 free throws or not, wouldn't have changed the fact that y'all was getting ran in that fourth quarter. It wouldn't have mattered, right? Yeah. How about the fact that you was wide the freak open and you missed that shot? Hey, guess what? You didn't get fouled on that one. And if we want to be honest, y'all saw that broken play where MPJ had that sweet. Hey, listen, he has one of the best 3-point shots in the game. All right. He got fouled on that play. That was an and one if you want to be technical.
And
that's a 4-point play if they call
that was my whole point with all of it. How many of those plays did you see throughout the game where you was like, I don't know if I agree with that? The Lakers ended up getting one Philly got one where Kyle Lowry absolutely foul buddy and got the call overturned and Kyle Lowry didn't get the foul call on him. Like I like how many calls are you gonna get like that a game? And if LeBron knocks down that 3, we not upset about D'Lo.
No,
right? You ain't complaining in.
Not at all.
You're not complaining in. Yeah.
And how about this? How about D'Lo stepping up? I gotta give him some praise. How about D'Lo stepping up, knocking down how many threes? Was it 7 threes? AD put on a clinic first 3 quarters, right? Like you can't say nothing about AD's performance. He balled out, took it to Jokic. Jokic is just Jokic.
Now,
Jokic in the fourth quarter just moved him out the way like he wasn't.
32 and 11. I mean, I'll take that for my big man.
I can say something about
but he didn't really score in the last like 18 minutes of the game. It seemed like.
I'm sorry.
Last quarter, him and LeBron had 4 points. Hey, guess what, LeBron? You took a rest in the first half. It's your time, baby.
No. Here's my thing. And in the fourth quarter, LeBron did step up in his time. He took 9 shots, went 5 for 9, put up 12 points, knocked down 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. We know which 3 he ended up missing. No, I am looking at AD crazy. AD didn't touch the ball for like 12 minutes. AD wasn't involved in the offense. AD took 1 shot in the fourth quarter.
Is that more so on him or is that on the team though?
You saw why?
Just because you ball out in the first 3, come get the ball.
Go get the ball.
You know where I saw AD operating from? AD was operating high post. AD was operating left wing up high. AD was getting to the bucket. He was getting downhill. He wasn't posting up. It wasn't 1985. And he was like, I got to establish myself in the post. AD can face up on Jokic and go to work. And he did it for 3 quarters where you literally was like, man, everything he put up, it falls.
Yep.
Everything he put up, it fell the entire game. This man went like, hold on, let me see it. I got it right here. First quarter, Anthony Davis, 4 for 5. He scored 10 points. The second quarter, Anthony Davis, 7 for 7. He scored 14 points. The third quarter, Anthony Davis, 3 for 6. He put up 8 points. The fourth quarter, Anthony Davis, 0 for 1. Unacceptable.
Yeah, you were cooking the whole game. Yeah. You were cooking
unacceptable. And listen, I'm looking at pockets over there too.
Shift a little bit. The defense shift a little bit, and in that shift, it just took more for him to get to his spots. And in that moment, when it's a close game, you got other people rolling. You don't force those shots.
Unexcusable.
Taking one attempt though when
it's still unexcusable. Listen, the defense is going to shift on the guy that's scoring the most every time.
Yeah. But that's
you know what I mean. Like there's no point where you're going to look at Kobe White hooping and say, oh, the defense didn't shift. There's no point that you're going to look at Michael Jordan back in the 90s and say, oh, the defense didn't shift. There's no point where you watch Kobe Bryant. The defense that shifted on Kobe Bryant was like, hey, put 4 dudes on this man and try and slow him down. Like, when you're cooking, the defense shifts.
It's different for a guard versus a forward, though. And AD is not a forward like LeBron. He really is. He can face up, but he really was cooking back to the basket in the post. And so when you're getting most of your money there and you're in rhythm from there, him trying to for me looking at it, I saw them start to collapse. I saw them start to bring help early when he would get the ball and he was making the right play. We want him to be like the Shaqs or Tim Duncan. He's definitely not Tim Duncan. We can get that out of mind. He's not Tim Duncan.
I'm not asking him to be that.
He ain't Shaq. So like for what he was asked to do and what he actually did, I thought he played well. I thought he played real well. The reality of it is you just can't do anything about Like that adjustment came for Denver at the right time, and that's cool. That happens, right? It just was AD, but that's why you have LeBron. That's why you have D'Lo. That's why you have Rui. That's why you have like if they step up when we win this game, if the Lakers win this game, no one's saying AD played bad. But because he lost,
but you know what? But you know what? Even though Embiid was killing last night too, and even though he got a bum knee,
well,
like
he got hurt. He got hurt down the stretch.
He got a bum knee, and they still guard. They still changing defenses. They're trying to do what they got to do to stop him. He still find a way to get the ball. He still find a way to score. I don't see any excuse for AD, bro. Like no.
And
excuse,
they did collapse on him in the paint. I agree with that. But he scored 14 of his points in the paint. He scored another 12 from the mid-range and out. Like, so it was an even night. Like, it's not like he wasn't hitting the jumper. I get it if like, oh, my shot is all the way off. I don't know. I'm struggling. But here's the thing. There's no moment in time where because the defense adjusted to your game where it's going to be acceptable for you to take one shot. I get it if you go like 1 for 5 and you want to let somebody else do what they do. But in a time where a team basically ran you, a team ran you off of the court.
Yep.
You didn't put up 2 shots. Now, I'm not blaming AD only for that. Darvin Ham, take your hands out your pockets. I don't know what's going on in there. If you got rocks in your pocket,
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what's happening there. 2 timeouts, not one challenge on any of those plays. Like,
I will say this. This is also where we have to give credits for Jokic because Shaq even mentioned this. In Charles was experienced this as well. It's hard to score when the other person is beating you up on the other end. And that's the one thing about Shaq that people would underrate. Like, there's some good centers that he went against, but they had to guard him on the other end. And once you're getting beat up with this guy turning into you, banging and stuff like that, after a while, that starts to hurt and wear you down. Jokic start to baby AD. I didn't realize that Jokic was as strong as he was, as big as he was, until he started just moving AD like it was nobody's business. And I was like, yo, that's a grown man right there. Like that's AD's a big dude. He was moving with ease.
But Jokic was babying AD dang near the whole game.
I felt like the second half was Jokic. AD got the best of him in the first one. I think AD really stunned him in the first one. Like, for sure, he was giving it to him in the first.
You know why? AD took
first half.
AD shot the ball. Like, he was hooping
even in the
whole
post.
game. Jokic
in the post, like first quarter, he was taking it to him.
Yeah. But AD was hooping Jokic was hooping the whole game. And it's
no matter what they did.
It's only one quarter where it was like, and again, I think that there's a focus. There has to be. I shouldn't be relying on a 39-year-old in the fourth quarter of a basketball game. I don't care if he is LeBron James. I shouldn't be looking at the 39-year-old and saying, you have to stop the bleeding on your own.
Yeah.
He's still 39. We talking about AD getting tired. There's a 39-year-old on the court.
Yeah.
What was AD's stat line?
32 and 11. Total?
You talking about total?
What's the total?
32 and 11.
32 and 11, 14 for 19 from the field. So he was cooking all night till the fourth quarter where he decided not to take no more shots. Got to the free throw line 4 times, 10 defensive rebounds, 1 offensive. He did get gotten a little bit of foul trouble. But that would lead you to say, hey, I'm going to play less defense on the other end, which allowed Jokic to do a lot more. And I bet, like, I can't step up. Somebody got to help me. I can't foul him here. If I mess up, I'm out the game. We lose. Well, guess what? You took yourself out the game.
I think this is the first time where we have to admit, and maybe not the first time, but we just really have to look at it for what it is. Matchups matter. And sometimes a specific team just has your number. The Denver Nuggets just have the Lakers number.
Oh,
there's just no way around it.
No,
they haven't beat them in 10 straight outings. Yeah, like they are well poised in position to beat the Lakers. They just are.
No, for sure. But I think this is why I have Denver going all the way, and this is why I've always had Denver going all the way. Michael Porter Jr. last night had 22. Jamal Murray had 20. Aaron Gordon had 14. Nikola and then you get the Nikola Jokic. Oh, you got 10 off the bench from Christian Brown as well. And then you get the Jokic 27.
That boy was trash. I was like, why is he on the floor for a good portion of that?
Ooh, 10 points in 13 minutes is not bad.
Hey, Brown had some shots. I was like, dang, he's just off.
What you?
It was so limited that when he finally took some shots, I was like, nah, that ain't him.
He went 5 for 8.
Yeah,
Hey, listen,
13 minutes.
3 he missed was egregious to me.
that man played less than 13 minutes, went 5 for 8. I think he got on the floor.
When I saw that boy take a couple shots, I was like, yeah, he needs to stop.
I'll take that off the bench.
I missed the makes.
Hey, I guess so. But no, I just like you look at this team, you've got all of that on the offensive end, and then you got Jokic.
Yeah, that's a nasty game.
You got all of that on the offense, and then you got arguably the best player in the NBA right now.
They are.
Dude, I was watching the game and I was just like, dude, this team is way bigger than the Lakers. Like they just what? Michael Porter Jr. is what, 6'10"?
6'10".
Yeah.
Sharpshooter at that.
Man.
6'10" sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Just I had
Tavius
to
Caldwell
admit,
Pope is 6'7". Jamal Murray 6'5", 6'6". That's the shortest guy.
The funniest thing for me is Aaron Gordon is one of the shorter people on the team. He's like 6'7", 6'8", but he played like he's 7'1".
He matches up with
he the one down there playing like
yeah.
He plays with the intensity that AD needed in the fourth quarter, and I'm not letting it go. I don't know, man. I think the playoffs are off to a great start. I'm very excited for what else we have to come. Of course, we got the games tonight. I'm reacting to a lot of these games. I'm reacting to all of the playoff games actually over on the Path to Designer page. So tune in with us over there. Got the videos up and cracking. Got the Knicks out. I got the Lakers out, and then we're gonna have the Magic out as well. And I'll be reacting to tonight's games over there. So tune in with us on that.
Minnesota play tonight, right?
Minnesota and Phoenix.
Minnesota and Phoenix.
Anthony Edwards is my favorite player now, man. I'm sorry.
Tyrese Maxey has won the NBA's most improved player.
Come on, man. Get that out of here. It was
man,
already
Kobe White
great.
improved up.
He was
averaging 9 points a game last season. Now he's averaging almost 20. How is that not most improved?
Point difference between last year and this year.
You got to think, though. I was making the case for Kobe White, but Tyrese Maxey is.
Tyrese, he's been doing what he's been doing.
I think the tough part for Kobe is Tyrese never fell off.
Never.
Kobe fell off post All-Star break.
I agree.
I told you that would probably be the reason why he wouldn't win. He fell into that wall. Yeah, he ran into that wall.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do for the pettiest man alive, P Kid, whose internet finally decided to clear up. Mr. Meaty down here, 5 steaks a night, Jordan JC, and, of course, the Dominican Fever, C-Dub. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love, bear down. C-Red. Peace.